And joining us now is Mark Schulman, author of the Tel Aviv Diary and a columnist at Newsweek. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Galindo referred to Jews who worship Satan. She said that Jews control the media, claimed Israelis were attempting to carry out a genocide in America, and yet she insists she is not anti-Semitic, but just anti-Zionist. What does this say about this normalization of this kind of hateful rhetoric that she can just do that?
She can just do it. That's right. It's been normalized. It's been totally normalized. And the idea that you could say Israel, but then talk about the Jews supporting Israel, and suddenly the Jews supporting Israel are now should go to concentration camps and everything that's related to that. And it's in any way normalized that 41% of the people in her district voted for her, that she got one vote other than her husband or whatever, is just hard to believe, right? You would not have believed that if you would have told me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or any time since the end of the Holocaust in America. In other words, since the Americans discovered there was a Holocaust in Europe, if you would have told me that there would be 41% of people in a congressional district would vote for a candidate who called for rounding up Jews and putting them in concentration camps and other terrible things, I would have told you you're insane. But that's where we are at this point. We've gotten to an impossible place at this point. And the fact that it is that way scares me, to be quite honest with you. You know, that yes, she was condemned, but okay, but 41% of the people voted for her.
Right. I do want to ask you, though, I mean, we have, on the one hand, we see this normalization. She got these 41% it's of the votes. It's shocking. But on the other hand, several high-profile figures within the Democratic Party have come out and condemned her. I mean, is this a figure we're going to see more from, where we can expect to hear more from?
They condemned her. This is so beyond outrageous. I mean, this makes anything that any of the quote-unquote, liberals in Congress, or whatever you want to call it, progressives in Congress, have said about Israel and Jews to be friendly. I mean, this was beyond any sort of pale, anything you could possibly consider. So she was condemned. Did I hear any cries to strip her membership from the Democratic Party? Was anything done of any substance? I mean, I think it says something, to say the least. And of course, there's a normalization on both sides of this political spectrum. That's what's the most scary part of it. It's not just in the Democratic Party. Okay, so she ran in as the Democrat, but you could easily see someone on the far right saying almost the exact same things. How far is, her and Fuentes? Is there any difference between the two of them? And does that matter between her and Olson?
Well, so Mark, I want to ask you to that, to what you said there. There are reports that she was receiving funding from a Republican-linked super PAC. Do we know anything more about that?
There are just reports of that. I don't know whether it's true. Obviously, it would be a great way to cause problems in the Democratic Party to get support for her. So I wouldn't put it beyond dirty tricks. That's an old thing, dirty tricks in campaigns and the opponents supporting somebody who would take apart the party. So it's definitely possible. But look, I think we've reached a point that it can't be ignored. I'm not one of these people who's, saying we're in the 30s and this. I never used to say that. But the fact that someone could actually say that, running for Congress, I mean, this wasn't someone who's running to become on the school board, after all. She was running as a congressional candidate. She had actually won the plurality of the votes in the first round, because she didn't have the absolute majority, so there was a second round. In the second round, she lost. But that she got this far, that she's taken seriously, I think we really have to say this is a very serious moment for American Jewry, and I'm not sure what we do about it, quite honestly. You and I are here, makes it a little bit easier, but it's very frightening, to say the very, very least.
All right, Mark Schulman, thank you very much for that.
My pleasure. Take care, Brianne Connell.